Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Baxter Student Ambassador Program webinar. Presenting for us today is Sarah McGreer, one of our BSAP finalists from Capilano University. Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. So just before we get started, I'd like to let everyone know that if you're viewing today's webinar on your computer, if you have any questions during the presentation, just type them into the Q&A box or the chat box, which are found in your Zoom toolbar, and those questions will be answered after the presentation has finished. Okay, Sarah, if you'd like to go ahead and share your screen, you can start whenever you're ready. There we go.
Awesome. So welcome everyone to my webinar. Thank you for tuning in. As mentioned, my name is Sarah McGreer, and today's presentation is titled A Foodie's Guide to Israel. According to the Bible, Israel is known as the land of milk and honey, so food is a huge part of their culture. More people are being attracted to the idea of becoming a foodie. Getting out of their comfort zone is always recommended when trying new foods. That idea alone draws many people in. So this presentation will give travelers and travel agents some ideas about great places to visit in order to fully experience Israel's food and history. Just on the agenda for the presentation, I'll be talking about modern-day Israel, tourism in Israel, the food tourism industry, traditional flavors, the Israel bucket list, and 24-hour mock itinerary in Jerusalem, and then how to target travelers. So Israel is located in the Middle East along the Mediterranean Sea. It is comparable in size to the state of New Jersey, with around 8 million people. Israel is home to 3 historic religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The capital city is Jerusalem, which is one of the oldest cities in the world. Many travelers come for holy pilgrimages and visiting their Jewish heritage. Mild temperatures make it perfect for citrus fruits to grow, such as oranges, lemons, pomegranates, and olives. Many restaurants in Israel are kosher, which means they conform to Jewish food laws, serving only meat killed in a certain way, and not serving both meat and dairy products at the same time. Traditional Jewish people will often own 2 sets of dishes and cutlery, so meat and dairy products can be completely separate. However, many of Israel's trendiest restaurants, are not kosher, serving pork and shellfish, which are forbidden for kosher people. Jewish people from all over the world have influenced modern Israeli food. And recently, within the last 5 years, veganism has become extremely popular, with about 5.2% of the population being vegan, which make it the leading vegan country in the world. Tourism is a major economic activity in Israel. The sector employs 6% of the workforce and over 200,000 people. In 2014, Israel experienced a slight decrease in visitors due to the summer Gaza war, which resulted in quite a negative turn for the tourism industry. However, the year recorded just a 1% drop in the number of foreign travelers visiting the country. The numbers increased significantly in 2016, which rose by 3.6%, which equaled about 2.9 million travelers. The increased number of travelers resulted from strategic marketing efforts such as promo videos and upgraded tourism websites. And the United States sent the highest number of travelers in 2016, which is about 6% more than 2015. So being a foodie falls under the category of food tourism, which has been around for as long as people have been traveling, but has expanded within the last 5 to 8 years. This is important to note for travel agents who are looking to target travelers in order to get a sense of the experience that travelers are looking for. The textbook definition of food tourism is the act of traveling for a taste of place in order to get a sense of place. One can always dissect the definition further. There is simply no easier way to explain the act of traveling to experience unique food. Simple is always best. Personally, I love to experience different flavors, and I think trying the local cuisine is awesome to gain a sense of culture and history. The World Food Travel Association has created a chart about topics such as money spent while traveling and the importance of food and local experiences. The survey interviewed 2,827 participants, and they found that over half of all participants, equaling about 60%, enjoyed taking pictures of food when they traveled and sharing travel experiences on social media. Also, about 59% of participants believe that food and beverage is more important when traveling than it was 5 years ago. And lastly, 81% believe eating and drinking help in understanding the local culture and history. So it's clear from the statistics that food tourism is becoming extremely popular and is a major element of modern-day tourism. So some traditional Israeli meals often include bread, olives, cheese, and raw vegetables. The four most well-known Israeli dishes are falafel, which are deep-fried chickpea balls served in pita bread. Next is hummus, which is a ground-up chickpea dip, followed by boyurikas, which are a pastry made of phyllo dough stuffed with cheese, potato, and other fillings. And then lastly is shawarma, which is sliced turkey or lamb wrapped in pita bread. Typically, meals begin with a large assortment of appetizers, which include dips and stuffed vegetables. Traditional Middle Eastern food includes flatbreads, lentils, fresh fruit and nuts, raw vegetables, and grilled meats and dairy products. Sweets made from honey and sesame seed are also favorites of many. Outdoor dining areas are common for guests to enjoy appetizers and main dishes to share with large groups of friends and family. I have sampled hummus and falafel before and would recommend it to anyone interested in exotic flavors. According to the touristisrael.com, 5 must-see sites and activities travelers must try are listed on the screen. The first being is get some vitamin C. Israel is home to some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. Travelers can try sunbathing in Tel Aviv, Eilat in the south for reef surfing, or the Dead Sea for a float on the saltiest lake in the world. The second is it is a place of history. Travelers can explore the Old City in Jerusalem, the Western Wall and the Independence Hall, followed by the Tower of David Museum, and then also numerous other sites across the country. Number 3 is it has many natural wonders. Travelers can try the Ein Gedi Nature Reserve for camping, hiking, and wildlife viewing. The fourth are museums. Israel has more museums per capita than any other country in the world. Travelers can try the Tel Aviv Museum of Art or the Israel Museum in Jerusalem. And lastly are just some rites of passage, a few must-sees. Visitors must eat hummus, ride a camel, and try out their bargaining skills at local markets. So I have created a 24-hour mock itinerary for a foodie/history enthusiast visiting the Holy City in Jerusalem. I've based the tour information I have collected off of touristisrael.com. And on the top right of the screen, I have included a map to show the locations of everything and how easily accessible everything is together. Visiting the historic sites in the Old City and local restaurants is a perfect way to meet locals and immerse yourself into the culture. So, starting off the tour, we can go to the Machain Market, which is known as the largest market in Jerusalem. This market opens at 8 a.m., so what better place than to eat a delicious breakfast of coffee, fruit, and maybe a boyurika. Travelers can find any spice, fresh or dried, also fresh cheeses, honey, meats, halva, and baked goods. Also, this market transforms in the evening turning it into a nightlife hotspot with many bars and restaurants. It's a great place to start off the day with authentic Israeli food. And the Lonely Planet even named it one of the best food stops in Israel. Next, travelers can walk over to the Jaffa Gate to enter the Old City of Jerusalem. The Old City is home to the Western Wall, aka the Wailing Wall, and this is the last remaining site of what was the Jewish temple and is today the holiest site in the world for Jewish people. Above the Western Wall lies the Dome of the Rock, important for Muslims as a site where the Prophet Muhammad is said to have risen to heaven. The Old City is divided into 4 quarters: the Jewish, Armenian, Christian, and Muslim quarters. Next, for lunch, travelers can travel over to the Old City Market, situated between the Jewish quarter and the Muslim quarter. It is a unique market that's full of history. Visitors can try delicious Middle Eastern foods such as baklava, flatbreads, and a variety of cheeses and smoked meats. Also, if you are a lover of wine, this market is great to sample some of Israel's best. There are endless souvenirs and food vendors to sample. And next on the tour, you have the Dome of the Rock, which sits above the Western Wall Plaza. And non-Muslims are not allowed to enter the building itself. Tourists are able to tour the compound and nearby Al-Aqsa Mosque. And lastly, after a day of local cuisine at markets, travelers can visit the Eucalyptus Restaurant for dinner. This restaurant is an upscale eatery offering some of the finest and seasonal ingredients. Some items on the menu are fire-roasted eggplant, figs stuffed with chicken, veal sweetbreads, and maklaba, which is chicken, rice, vegetables, saffron, almond yogurt, and tomato relish. So all of the best things. This itinerary is perfect for a high-energy traveler, independent traveler, and in-depth explorer. To keep in touch with the foodie and food tourism industry in Israel, on the screen are a couple great platforms for travel agents to utilize. new.goisrael.com is a great resource for tour ideas, historical site hotspots, and popular attractions. Also, deliciousisrael.com is extremely well known for its foodie/history tours. And travelers can also follow them on Instagram and also foodie_Israel for trendy restaurants across the country. So on the right-hand side, it is the home screen for Delicious Israel. And then on the left side, we have the Instagram handles for the 2 foodie accounts. Attracting more visitors can easily be done by showing foodie/traveler blogs, as well as Instagram accounts and tourism websites. Utilizing social media is a great source to gain a lot of people's attention. And as mentioned before, people love to share experiences through photos, and what better place than exotic Israel to brag to all your friends and family. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
So of course, we'll open it up now for people to submit any questions that they may have.
Okay.
And if anybody here in the room with me has a question, I will give them the floor.
Hi, Sarah. It's Ian Stocker. I work with Dan. Have you sampled a lot of Israeli food yourself? I think you said you've eaten falafel and hummus. Have you tried other types?
I have tried shawarma, actually. I remembered I have, but I forgot to include it. And yeah, it was super delicious, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. And also, I'm a lover of flatbreads and lentils as well. So it's really, really good food.
By the way, I'm sorry, I missed it. Borica, I'm not familiar with it. What was that again?
Yeah, it's more of like a breakfast food, and it has potatoes and cheese and spices inside. It's really quite good. I hear it's good.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for your question.
And Sarah, what would you say was the biggest challenge you faced when preparing for this webinar presentation?
I found the hardest part was just all the history that Israel has. It was hard to kind of pinpoint what topic I wanted to discuss in my presentation. So I thought food would be a good approach because everyone loves food and it's something that's really fun to talk about. So I tried to merge the two, but not make it too overwhelming with all of the history.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
And Stephanie asks, can you review the 24 hours in Jerusalem tour? What sites, which days would be best?
I would say visiting the old city. I feel like that is just a place of history that everyone has to experience. It would definitely be fun to go and visit all the sites, and you could just feel the history in the air. And then also sampling the food would definitely be a bonus.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll allow another 30 seconds or so for people to submit any questions that they may have.
Okay.
Ashley asks, what inspired you to focus on food tourism in Israel for this presentation?
I love that Israel has so many exotic flavors in their meals, and I thought it would be something that would be really relatable when discussing for the presentation because everyone enjoys to eat good food. So I think it would be really awesome. And I do know that taking photos of food now is something that's really popular. I think it's growing now just in terms of on social media. People love to share photos. So I thought it would be good to talk about because it's something that's really trendy right now.
Great, thank you.
Welcome.
And the second part of that question is, who would the target market for food tourism in Israel be? Who would travel agents sell food tourism to?
I would say probably people who are from 20 to 40. Those are the high majority of people that are on social media right now. However, with that being said, I would say maybe baby boomers as well because they do love to travel and experience good food. So maybe targeting them as well would be awesome.
Excellent. Thanks, Sarah.
Okay.
Okay, I do believe that's it for the questions today, but I would like to thank everyone that tuned in the webinar today. Thank you all for taking time out of your day. And Sarah, thank you so much for presenting for us today.
Yeah, thank you so much. I had a good time.
Great, we did too. And on behalf of Baxter Media, I would like to thank you so much for participating in BSAP 2019. We'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Okay, take care everyone. Bye-bye.